Space Coconut.
Okay, today we're going to talk about the twins a little bit, and why you should wait to buy them if you're going to buy them with Auric Cells. Before I get into it, sub if you're new and hit the bell if you don't want to miss any videos like this in the future. If you ever want to talk about anything you see in my videos, drop by Twitch where I'm live every Saturday with random streams during the week. Join the Discord if you want to talk with other coconuts about anything you feel like, as well as find out about when those random streams will be. Links to everything are in the description. The twins are in a very interesting position. It seems like there's much less excitement surrounding this killer than many before it. While some people will say that the twins will be amazing and that players will be sleeping on them, the fact of the matter is that the devs themselves have announced that the killer will be released in an unfinished state. The mechanics that help balance the killer to make them less prone to abuse by survivors won't be part of the killer until later. Think about that. Let's pretend Pyramid Head was announced, and in the PTB he didn't have the ability to use Punishment of the Damned. Imagine how he would feel if a part of his kit was entirely missing and you had to rely on survivors running through the rites of judgment in order to get absolutely any use out of his power. Imagine how Oni would feel if he didn't gain rage from wounding survivors, if he had to collect all of the orbs in order to fill his meter at all. These are integral mechanical parts to the killers in question that make them functional. The twins will be released incomplete with parts of their kit missing. The devs are selling us a beta version of the twins. Or maybe I guess that's early access, isn't it? I haven't even gotten into the power level of the perks they bring, the effectiveness of their power, and their overall feel yet. When the twins are released tomorrow, they will not be worth Auric Cells. I'll be buying them with iridescent shards, and I highly suggest that the player base does this collectively. The twins are not worth your money. Get them for free, kinda, with iridescent shards, or don't get them at all and wait to see what the devs do to improve them before buying them with Auric Cells. If you buy them with Auric Cells, then you're probably the type of person who genuinely thinks they're doing a good job, and I question your perception of reality. So what will you be getting for your hard-earned currency? The twins, a killer that splits into two and are controlled independently from one another, kind of like what the Legion probably should have been. I hope the Legion gets reworked that way, that would be cool. Charlotte is the M1 killer, and Victor is the baby-shaped projectile. Victor will latch onto healthy survivors, giving them a set of status effects that don't actively hinder a survivor from successfully looping Charlotte. Instead, he's given a very generous 45-second timer until Charlotte can recall him if a survivor decides to take Victor out on a lengthy piggyback ride. Because of this downside, it's probably better to keep survivors injured and then attack with Victor so you can down them instead. The problem with this tactic is that once you switch over to Charlotte, depending on how far away you are, you may not get to the downed survivor before another survivor can come and pick them up. When Victor misses or successfully downs a survivor, there is a brief moment where a survivor can kick Victor in the face, killing him, forcing the killer to swap to Charlotte and wait for him to respawn to use him again. Thankfully, this timer is short enough to not feel bad, but long enough to be fair. If you're a tactical player like myself, you're probably disappointed with the speed at which the twins can switch between each other. This artificial limit is very similar to the original trap setting speed for the Trapper and Hag, as well as the 2-second movement delay the Hag had after teleporting originally. I believe that the delay for switching between Charlotte and Victor should be reduced to encourage more tactical gameplay. This will probably happen in the far distant future in the same way that the changes for the Trapper and Hag didn't happen for years after their release. The perks for the twins are very lackluster, which is becoming the norm for behavior. Hoarder is a sad attempt to add to the fight over items during a match. You get a notification when a survivor tries to open a chest or picks up an item within a 48-meter radius. Half of this perk relies on Franklin's demise, which is just fine by itself. The other half is just another tracking perk that doesn't really do enough to use it over any of the other tracking perks, which leaves it in the same bargain bin as Iron Maiden. Coup de grace was very meh in the PTB, and yet the devs decided to nerf it anyway. When a gen is finished, you get a token that allows you to perform a lunge that is 60% longer. That's it. When you use the token, that's it, and you only get 5. and you only get 1 when a generator is finished. The perk does absolutely nothing else. It would probably be better if this acted like Remember Me, where as you got tokens, the effect grew in strength, but coup de grace would still be garbage. Oppression is slightly more interesting. When you damage a generator, 3 other generators start regressing too. If a survivor is working on a generator at the time, they get a difficult skill check. Pairing this with surveillance will save time kicking generators if you're not using Ruin, but it doesn't increase the regression, and the skill check will be a non-issue for survivors who can hit skill checks. A pretty weak effect that won't shake up the killer meta anyway, and it's on an 80-second cooldown. The survivor skin this time is pretty interesting, and players are very happy with her appearance. The perks are just as questionable as the killers though. Appraisal is simply a fun perk. You start with 3 tokens and you can spend a token to search a chest that is already opened to find another item. You can only find 1 new item per chest, which was a change from the PTB. You can also search chests 80% faster. Not much here except a higher number of chances to find what you're looking for, or simply take the best item you can find. Deception sounds like red herring to me and is worded poorly. You hit the button to interact with a locker while sprinting to create a noise notification without actually entering the locker. You don't leave scratch marks for 3 seconds, and it has a 40-second cooldown. You hear a killer coming, you run to the locker, fake going inside, but continue running to hide behind something else. Depending on how you use it, this could replace Quick and Quiet, or even be better. Power Struggle. If you wiggle to 25% while being carried, you can pull a pallet down yourself to stun the killer. It has only 1 use. Ignoring how dumb the developers are for implementing yet another perk that circumvents team play, Power Struggle probably won't be a big issue. In order for it to be really effective, it will need to be paired with Flip Flop in order to gain wiggle percent even before the killer picks you up. Unfortunately, knowing the perk exists will lead killers to avoid pallets, as they currently do in order to prevent a pallet stun by a teammate. The killer can also take the risk and allow themselves to be stunned if it means the shack pallet gets used in the process. There's enough counterplay and unreliability to prevent this perk from being overpowered, but it's just annoying to see as a killer main. All in all, this chapter doesn't have much going for it other than the usual shine the design team puts into the characters and some very situational and, in my opinion, boring perks. A Binding of Kin falls short of being a good DLC offering simply due to the weakness of the killer, the uninspired nature of the perks, and the fact that the killer will not be released with all of their gameplay mechanics in place on release. Buy this DLC with iridescent shards, or don't buy it at release. If you want to support the devs, buy this DLC with Auric cells after they finish it. We have no idea what other changes will happen to the twins by the time they finish the locker mechanic for Victor, and maybe by then it will actually be worth the cash investment. Let me know what you thought of this video. I tried something a little different from the usual killer study, and I might continue to use this format because it was kind of fun. Definitely let me know how you'll be purchasing Chapter 18, The Binding of Kin, or if you won't be buying it at all. I'm interested to see what you folks will do. Like the video if you like the video, and dislike the video if you like paying for PTB content. Until next time, I'll see you in the fog. Ah. DS. Okay, hatch is here. Sprint burst. Well, you know what? She's dead anyway. A 3K with a lot of that stuff. I don't feel bad about that. Let's see what we had. And I still don't think I got that challenge done. I think 3 Unbreakables, 4 DS. Let's see, Unbreakable, 2 Unbreakables, 2 DS.